So I had struggled with addiction for many, many years. I smoked marijuana for the first time when I was 12. My drug addiction escalated very quickly. There was always this haunting voice in my head that always said that whatever I touched, whatever I did just wasn't good enough. And for a long time, the only way I could not hear that or not feel that was to stay high, stay intoxicated. It takes everything from you, your morals, your values, your dignity, your respect, and just leaves you with nothing. There was a bridge that ran beside I-20 next to a hotel that I was in. I couldn't deal with the guilt and the shame of the hurt that I caused everybody else, including myself. I stood up on the ledge and I just looked out over the oncoming traffic and I jumped. I remember waking up in the hospital a couple days later and I was angry. I now have 2 rods and 6 plates and 37 screws in one leg and 2 plates and 17 screws in the other leg, and I lost 80% vision out of my left eye. The judge this time, she was like, I can't, we've already given you a chance and I'm revoking your probation, and she sentenced me to 6 years in prison. Things begin to change a little bit that time. I believe that you're going to keep going around that mountain until you get it right. So Salvation Army was the closest facility near the county that I caught my charges out of. So this is where they sent me. The room 106 is where I had stayed in the women's shelter, and that is where my college journey actually began. And it was so overwhelming. Living in a shelter is not easy when you're away from your family or support system or everything that you've ever known. It's not an easy task. The staff, everyone here become my family. They looked out for me, they spoke life into me, they reached out to me, they were there to pat you on the back and say you're doing a good job. I had gotten to a point in my life where I hated the person looking back at me in a mirror, to the point where I didn't even try to look in a mirror. But eventually that came to pass, to the point to where I could proudly look at myself today and know that I am enough. I am a good enough case manager. I am a good enough wife. I am a good enough daughter, a good enough friend, a student. I graduated with a master's degree with a 4.0 GPA. I'm good enough. So to walk back into that room several years later, no longer a client, but as a professional, I think that was one of the most impactful days of coming back to the Salvation Army as a professional. I walked back into that room and I looked at the very bed that I prayed so many prayers, and sought refuge in just knowing that God was there. And I got to be so thankful, because some of the very prayers that I prayed is the very life that I have right now. I never thought that I'd be getting to work with people who is me so many years ago. I love my clients. I love my job. There's not enough words, there's not enough thank yous that I could possibly give that will express the gratitude that I have. There's people out there just like me that need the support and the tools and the love and the encouragement that the Salvation Army provided me. And for that, I am forever grateful.